With AutoVirt's global namespace, you can provide automatic client redirects following data migration or automatic failover to a replication site when a file server is offline. You can also improve the organization of your storage by building virtual storage pools that combine shares from devices all across your network. With the AutoVirt global namespace, each migration job is completed in share-sized increments. Client access is restricted only while each share migration is in progress. As soon as a share has been migrated, the namespace is updated, and clients automatically begin to access that share in its new location. At the same time, clients continue to access shares that have yet to be migrated in their original location. With share-by-share migration, you can migrate the contents of a file server in stages, limiting disruption to network storage access. With a global namespace, there is no need to manually update UNC names in shortcuts or embedded links. When you select a destination for your data, AutoVirt moves the data and automatically adjusts the global namespace to reflect the new location. When you schedule an AutoVirt replication policy, you can choose the frequency at which data is copied from master to replica. You can also select a failover site. The location of both master and replica are represented in the namespace. If the master version of the data becomes unresponsive, clients are automatically redirected to the replica. AutoVirt leverages the CIFS protocol to interact with your clients, your file servers, and DNS. Before you install the AutoVirt global namespace, client shortcuts literally match the names of your network storage devices, and DNS uses the names to facilitate the connection between client and storage. When you elect to use the AutoVirt global namespace to help manage a file server, you must rename that file server so that client shortcuts no longer refer directly to it. The global namespace takes over the old name and also keeps track of the file server's new name. When a client requests the file server, the client is referred to the global namespace. The global namespace completes the referral to the file server. Ultimately, the connection between client and storage is direct. The AutoVirt global namespace is made up of individual namespaces. Each namespace looks like other file systems on the network. The AutoVirt UI shows all of your file servers and all of your namespaces. Your end users can browse AutoVirt namespaces just as they would networked file servers. When you select a file server for AutoVirt management, AutoVirt inventories the file server. From this inventory, AutoVirt creates a dependent namespace. The dependent namespace is a representation of the folder structure of the file server. AutoVirt allows you to improve file system organization by creating independent namespaces. You can use an independent namespace to combine shares from all across your network and rearrange them under a single folder hierarchy. To create a new independent namespace, select New Namespace from under the Independent Namespaces tab. Give your new namespace a name. I'm going to name this one Marketing Shares because I'm going to group marketing shares from across my network under this new namespace. Select the namespace you just created. The center section of the AutoVirt UI is populated with all of your dependent namespaces. Again, these are simply representations of your file servers. You can browse for the folders or shares you wish to add to your independent namespace. Then, you can drag and drop them into your namespace. My new Marketing Shares namespace now contains shares from 2 different file servers on my network. When end users map to this new namespace, they will access these shares as if they were on a single physical file server. The combination of dependent and independent namespaces means that end users can choose to either access their files using existing UNC names, shortcuts, and folder hierarchies, or to browse a reorganized folder system. Once you have established your namespaces, You can use a data migration or replication policy to change the physical location of the data, but the namespaces appear unchanged to users. They simply direct users to the appropriate location of the data. To use the AutoVirt global namespace, you must select which file servers you'd like to manage using AutoVirt. An AutoVirt wizard guides you through the process of choosing your file servers and configuring the namespace. To select the file servers you'd like to manage using AutoVirt, click Add Filers and Begin. Enter your administrative credentials for AD. Choose a prefix or suffix to distinguish the namespace representation of your file servers from the physical devices. By default, AutoVirt will add the prefix AV to the file servers' names, but you can use whatever you want. Later, the namespace names and the physical file server names will be switched, so that the client shortcuts refer to the namespace and the namespace refers to the physical file server. You can search for the file servers you wish to add, or you can browse an inventory of your domain. When you click Next, dependent namespaces will be created to represent the file servers you choose. Although you will see the namespaces in the UI, they are not yet available for client referrals. To make the namespaces available to clients, you must cut over the file servers. You can do this by selecting each file server you just added and clicking Cut Over. During this step, you will need to rename your physical file server by affixing the prefix or suffix you choose. Once you rename your physical file server, the global namespace will take the original file server's name. The namespace will now receive all client requests for that physical file server and resolve them appropriately. Use a global namespace if you want to perform a share-by-share migration. Preserve client UNC names and shortcuts and embedded links. Provide automated failover to complement your replication relationships. Or improve the organization of your file systems without changing your physical devices.